In this video, we are going to start using our text tool, and to do that, you quickly go to your tools panel and select your text tool that looks like the capital letter T there. When you select your text tool, it becomes activated and gives you the permission to write on your working area. Now let me quickly write something. Let's say I write universal. Now I've written universal here, and to accept what you've written, you quickly click on the check button or the check mark at the tools options bar. Now when you click that, your write-up becomes accepted, and if you look at the layers panel right here, you discover that the text tool automatically created its own layer. It does not merge on another layer. It creates its own layer for as many times as you write your text. Okay, now let's look at the various ways we can work with this text. Now to move the text around, you make use of your move tool by pressing your V key on the keyboard or selecting the very first tool at the tools panel. Now I've selected my text tool and I want to move it a little to the center of working area. And you can also make some changes by selecting your text tool. Let's assume you want to change the color of the text. To do that, there are one of two ways. The one of two ways you can do that is to click inside the text and select all. Then on the top of the tools options bar, where you see green color, my color here is green, yours can be a different color. Now if you move your mouse to that area, you see text set text color, and if you click, you get a color picker that allows you to set the color of the text. Okay, so I'm quickly going to change it to let's say somewhat yellow like this, and let's accept that. Okay, then you click on the check mark at the button, or the check button at the tools options bar. Okay, now another way you can change the color of your text is to double click on the icon of the text layer on your layers panel. I'll quickly do that. Now when you double click on the icon on the text layer, you discover that the text becomes automatically selected, and you can also go back to your tools options bar to select the color. Now another thing you can do with the text layer or with the text inside of Photoshop is to increase the size of the text. To do that, you can do that by going to the text size right here at the tools options bar. Now when you click, mine is set to 100. I can decide to make it smaller, 72 for instance, and I can also decide to make it bigger, 105 for instance. Now you can do that by clicking on the slider here, on the arrow here, to give you a list of font sizes. If the font size you're looking for is not on the list of menu, then you click inside and type the font size you want to set your text to. Now I'm going to click OK to accept that, and you discover that our text becomes bigger once again. And I'm going to select my move tool and move that a little to the left, and back to our text tool to make some changes. Now you can as well set the font type. Okay, the font type right now is currently set to Give Sans empty. I can decide to click here and change it to something else. Now let me select another font type. Now let me change this to Gizmonda. Okay, I've changed mine to Gizmonda, and this is the font type Gizmonda. Let me change that to Arial. And we have our Arial text there. You can decide to make it bold by clicking very close to the font type, where you see different font styles. You see narrow, regular, italic, bold, bold italic, and black. Now if I make it black, it becomes very bold, and if I click on bold, it becomes bolder, but it becomes bold, but not as bold as the black is. Okay, now I'm going to reduce the size of this. Let me set it back to 90, and Now another thing you can do on this is you can decide to drag the sides of the text using your move tool. Now when you click on the move tool, you discover that there are nodes surrounding the text. Now you can decide to drag a particular node to increase the height of the text, or drag it by the left to increase the width of the text. Okay, now however you want to do it, it's your choice, but in our next video we're going to talk about that in details. Now after that, you can decide to click on the check button at your tools options bar here to accept any changes you've made. Okay, now another thing you can do on your text bar, let's go back and select that. You can decide to change your text bar from vertical to horizontal, from horizontal to vertical. And to do that, the very first icon you see after the text icon, where you see an arrow pointing downwards and another arrow pointing to the right side, when you click that, your right up automatically turns and becomes vertical text. Okay, and when you click that again, it goes back to normal horizontal. Okay, now that is how some of the things you can do with the text too. Now in our next video, we're going to look at how we can apply some blending options on our write-up. I'll see you there.